Greetings, it is I, T2, with a freshly shaved head, and my internet is not working tonight. I was going to do a live stream on Twitch, but apparently I can't. So instead I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to review a lot of different kinds of razor blades that I shave my head with. Got a bunch of them here. I'll tell you why I have a bunch of them. It's kind of an interesting story. Remember a while back Gillette had this politically correct campaign, something about men can do better. I don't forget what it was, but like I didn't even care what the message was. My opinion on it was that Gillette as a company shouldn't be making political statements because it doesn't matter. So I thought I would check out some other brands and see what else was out there, because I was getting disappointed with my Gillette. And if you don't know how razor blades work, there's this whole economical model called the razor and blades model. It's basically where they give you something for free, like this razor handle, I guess you would call it. I got this, I'm pretty sure this is the same one. I may have gotten a second one, but I got this in the mail when I turned 18 years old. So apparently Gillette, back in 1996, already had enough information compiled. I don't know how they got it, but they knew when people turned 18, they would send them a razor blade in the mail. You'd probably be shaving before you turn 18, so that's kind of weird. It's almost like a graduation present. So I got this in the mail, and they give you something like this for free, and then they charge you something like these, like inserts that goes onto it, and they charge you an outrageous price for them, because they sucker you in with the free shit, and then they overcharge you for the little things. Now the only other thing I know that works this way is printers and printer cartridges. They also use the razor and blades model. Now I've heard stories about people in the military, or anybody that has to have like a lot of ink ribbons for their printers. They'll just mass order a shitload of printers, and they'll take the ink cartridges out of them, and they'll just shred the printer and throw it in the trash. Because if you go buy an ink ribbon, it's like $60, while the printer is like, you can get on my discount like $30, $40, so it's cheaper to just buy a whole printer and take the ink cartridge out. And it's a massive waste. It's one of the biggest problems in the country, I think. Yeah, way bigger than like racism or anything like that. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just a big problem, okay? It's a big problem. I hate waste. It really annoys me. And I really like this handle, though. I really got into it because it's heavy and it's metal. I don't know why my camera always does this focusing thing. Maybe it's because I was doing this. No? Anyway. Like these got really expensive. They got the sensor XLs and they got the regular sensors, so I switched from the XLs to the regular ones, and then those got too expensive, and the prices of shit just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. That annoys me. So then I switched to these disposable sensor tubes by Gillette. Now there's some that look like this, where it spreads apart. They're at the branch. You see where this branches out and it spreads apart? These are pretty good, or they were. If you get the ones that just come straight up like this, like a T shape, those are dog shit. You will shave and you'll just miss hairs and it just won't even shave half of them. And don't even bother you with those. I just throw them right away because they didn't even work at all. But these used to be good, and they started getting worse and worse. Like the durability on them. I don't know if most people are supposed to, like, disposable means you use it once and you trash it. But I always try to shave at least 3 or 4 times with one of these, because why not? Because it seems like the biggest problem is hair. You can see there if it'll zoom in. It gets in between the razor blades, and it just kind of blocks it from shaving. So then you can take a Q-tip or something and like stick in there and like get that out, and it'll work a little bit longer. And there's also a trick where you can take blue jeans and you rub your razor forward on the blue jeans and it'll resharpen it somehow. But I have this conspiracy theory that Gillette is purposely making their razor blades out of shittier, softer metals, or some kind of, they've figured out the perfect combination of alloys where they make it where it breaks easier. I believe everything in the world today is designed to fail because there's no money in the cure. There's only, people sell medicine instead of the cure, and they sell like shit that makes you have to buy a new one every so often. That's the whole point, is to keep making money and keep making money. So why would you make something good like they did back in the 60s? When cars were like sturdy and you couldn't break them. And the Made in America used to be something to be proud of. So I decided to get something other than Gillette. So what's the next biggest company other than Gillette? Bic. So I think that's when I got this one. So this is a handle. This is a big handle, and it uses these things here. Now I don't like these because they don't pop out. You got to put them in like this, right? And then you slide it off of there. How does this go? It actually has a button. You have to push this button in to get them to retract, and then you slide it out of the thing, and it doesn't always work very good. So now you end up holding it, and you may end up cutting yourself, and it seems super dangerous. But the handle itself is not very heavy. It's kind of lightweight. Yeah, once you get it all put together, it looks like that. But yeah, the handle, if you look at it, it's really lightweight and kind of open, kind of big but not heavy. So it's not bad, but I think it worked pretty good. I'm pretty sure. The problem with most of these that I'm going to show you today is they work really good the first time, and then they're not much good after that. So these are pretty expensive. I wish I could look up the prices of all these and show you like the price comparison, but I wouldn't really recommend it. These don't seem like they're good enough to keep buying reusable things like this. Razor and Blades model too. So then what do we got? I decided let's go big. Let's get one of these big 4-blade ones, because I never used a 4-blade. I always used a 2-blade. And this, it's like the Cadillac. This is a Gillette, I think. Is it? It might also be a big 4-blade. I don't think it even says on here. I don't have the box for this one. But I've never used a 4-blade. I tried it out. It's got these little wires that go across the blades. So if you try to use a Q-tip to like clean your hairs out of the in-between, that kind of gets stuck on them. You get pieces of Q-tip stuck in it. But eventually you can get it clean, and it works. I mean, it kind of works twice as good as a 2-blade. And it costs twice as much as a 2-blade. And it also lasts twice as long. So it's pretty much the same as just using a 2-blade. I mean, it feels fucking amazing. Like, you can go over it really easily and stuff, and it shaves better. But it doesn't really improve on the durability, which is what I'm looking for. So that's kind of a problem. Not really worth the extra effort. I mean, if you want to spend extra for the little bit of pleasure you get from shaving with a 4-blade instead of a 2-blade, I don't think it's worth it. So then let's go cheap. We went big, let's go cheap. This is the Walmart brand Equate Twin Blade Plus, right? This is a really thin, plastic, lightweight piece of garbage. And it's like, there's not a lot of shock absorption in the bend in this. It's just a straight piece of plastic. It's also kind of got really shitty frame and everything. But just like most razors, it works really good the first time, and then it just kind of poops out after that. But they're dirt cheap, so not too bad for price. So if you go kind of in between the dirt cheap and the really expensive ones, you kind of get this pretty good shit. This is the Equate triple blade, 3-blade ones. Now these are pretty goddamn good, I gotta say. These are probably the second best, or maybe tied for the best of what I've used. And these are interesting because that's not a very good cover. I guess it works pretty good. The handle's pretty medium weight plastic, similar to the Schick or the Bic. What was that? The Bic? Yeah, the Bic. Isn't there also a Schick? Yeah, this one over here is a Schick. But this one, the 3-blade, it's got this weird, you can see that on the very bottom underneath the blades. It's got this textured pad, like if you use your shaving cream on your head, you'll see these really fine lines going across your head when you use it. I kind of like that. But then it doesn't really help anything. It's got good shock absorption. You see it fans out really nice. Got a nice shape here. Plus it's 3 blades instead of 2. So I'm thinking in the long run you'll probably get about 3 or a third more use than a 2-blade, but it's about the same price as a 2-blade, I think. So it's pretty good overall razor. This is an Equate brand, so it's super cheap. I would recommend these. But they all suck. Don't forget they all suck. But this is the other one I think is probably my favorite. This is the Schick Extreme 2. Now it has probably the worst handle It's really, really light. It's a little thin, light handle. I don't like the handle at all. But here's the thing about this Schick. If you can see the razor blades on it, they are real close together. It's two blades, but they're real close. Like you can't even fit hairs in between it almost. So the hairs, when you shave, the hairs kind of go off to the side and get like pushed off to the side, so you don't really have to worry about cleaning it with a Q-tip. You can't really get anything in between here. So it ends up shaving pretty good, but still, probably about the third shave you're done with it, because I don't know why. It doesn't really get dull. It doesn't really get hair in it. But I don't know how these blades work. None of them really work very good. But if you're going to get one, I would recommend either one of these. I mean, the Sensor 2s are still pretty good, even though if you're just going to use it once and throw it away, Gillette Sensor 2 is pretty much good. Even though you don't really like their political stances on whatever their political stance is. I just don't like them taking stances because they're a company. They do have that Raoul song by Dr. Disrespect. That's pretty nice. That's pretty much it. There's no fancy scoring system or prices comparison in this video. Pretty low budget. I'm just making it on my camera. Enjoy.